Um, I don't know why. Someone just texted me that they can't connect to the call, but please try again. I can't text and talk at the same time. So anyway, I am Robin, and I'm Richard's co-host, and the reason I am on this call is because I struggled with Morgellons as well as mites and columbola for over 3 years, infestations that were brought into my home. And I found his book as an answer to prayer and started doing his protocols, got a lot of help and support through coaching and this conference call. And when I got better, I wanted to give back, and so I came back to the call to see if I could help people as well. That's the whole reason I'm here. And I share things that have worked for me personally. And, you know, just like in any protocol or anything that you listen to or join, take what you like and leave the rest. But don't talk about it, because we respect each other's privacy. Now, Richard is very unusual. He has just released the 10th edition of his book, because doctors don't know a lot about Morgellons. There's a lot of controversy about it in the medical world still. It has been proven that it's not a delusion, that it's real, that it's caused by a Lyme bacteria, all kinds of stuff. But most doctors know nothing about it. Richard has been researching and learning and adding things for, I don't know, at least 10 years to his book. And we have helped him. Everyone who reads his book and says, hey, I tried this and it really worked. You know, he researches it and tries it. He's on this call every Sunday. You can reach out to him through email and ask questions. He's here for us to help us, and I am very grateful and thankful for Richard and for the effect that his counsel and his book has had on my life. So today we're going to talk about the diet, which is the cornerstone of all of Richard's protocols, because these parasites feed on sugar and cortisol, which is what your body makes out of sugar, and the diet starves them out. So anyway, I'm going to introduce Richard, if you're ready, and so here's Richard Kuhns, the author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites, and yay, Richard. Hey.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here every week. It's something I never thought I'd ever be doing 20 years ago when I suffered from skin parasites. I thought they'd kill me by now, but fortunately I came out the other end of the tunnel, and I'm here somewhat as a beacon, hopefully, for everyone who has ever suffered or is suffering to the degree that I did many, many years ago. Morgellons can be and is, well, let's not can be, it is a very isolating disease. You socially end up getting cut off. It's unfortunate. The issue is we are contagious until our symptoms are at bay, are minimized. You don't go to the beauty parlor to get your hair done. You don't go for your massage. You don't go out socially. You don't go dancing, because you can shed the organisms and they can be picked up by somebody else, and the disease started with them then. And then they have to get the book and read the book and go through everything that you've been going through. So it's a very isolating disease. Our greeting coach, Ethel, who was on earlier, took up doodling, and she's very creative about it, very, very creative. If you get the emails from me at the bottom on the right side, you'll always see one of her doodles, and we started a contest to name her doodles, to give them a title. And we started a contest last week, and Ethel I'm going to turn it over to you. You can announce the name, the title of the doodle, and it will appear. This recording will be on YouTube. The doodle will be appearing about now that was named. And Ethel, tell us a little bit about doodling and who won the contest. And the winner of the contest gets $5 in our online store. Ethel? We lost Ethel?
Sounds like we lost. Huh. I think we should sell Ethel's doodles in the store.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Ethel.
All right, I got muted. All right, let me see if I can go back to where I started doodling about 6 months into this illness, and because it was a time when I couldn't write, and it was just very hard to even think straight, but just sitting there making little squiggles and squares and circles, it took me outside of what I was experiencing with the crawling and the itching. And sometimes I just draw a line, curvy line on. I never knew what it was going to end up being until later on I tried to make trees and flowers and things. But I have found it very, very comforting. I can spend hours just sitting and doing the doodles. And all it took was cheap ballpoint pens and paper from the Dollar Tree. And I just have had immense joy in doing those. The one that was in the newsletter, the person who won wrote a very, very inspiring note along with it. She says, I'm intrigued by your drawing. It says to me, the path back to normalcy has to include the release of all of the tension, stress, dark thoughts, if you will. So she calls it freedom on the path home. So the doodle is freedom on the path home, and the winner is Rhonda.
Yay!
Wonderful.
Yay, Rhonda.
Congratulations,
I don't know.
Rhonda.
Good.
I don't know if she's on the call. She said she was going to try to be on the call today.
You have her email address. We can get in touch with her if she's not on the call. I think I heard her introduce herself earlier. So doodling it's a challenge. So the organisms make it a life-changing. It's like learning a new career to keep up with the keep the organisms at bay and get your life back. And so doodling is one outlet. Every week we'll have one of Ethel's doodles in the newsletters, and you can enter it and name it. And if you find other avenues or outlets other than doodling, please share them, because part of what we do is to relieve stress. And having a hobby such as doodling, or maybe the 500-piece puzzles that you put together, something to fill in place of the things that you no longer do until you get your life back and can do them again. And towards that end, the subject of today's program is the King Diet. Now, the King Diet, I discovered it out of necessity. It has no theory to it. Just about every diet that you read about has some kind of a theory to it as to why it works. Well, this one works because these are the foods the parasites don't like, and we have the foods and know the foods that they do like. So we would be silly and ridiculous if we ate the things that they like. So for stage one, the diet has 3 stages I discovered as time went on. And the stage 1 is the strictest of all of them. It really tells them that you mean business and you're not going to continue feeding them You're not going to keep making them happy. You're not going to keep giving them a habitat that they can live and make your life miserable. You're laying down a law to them. And some people have called it a cure. But let me say it is not a cure. I tried stage 1 of the diet for 90 days straight and came off of it and was not cured. In fact, all the symptoms came back just as bad as they were in the beginning. So I learned it's not a cure. And how I discovered the diet was from my stress management era. Many people came to my clinic in stress management because they had issues or problems. And we would find that many people have food sensitivities. They're allergic to certain foods. So what you do with a food-sensitive diet is you basically stop eating everything and you introduce one food at a time and take your pulse rate. Say 20 seconds after you drink orange juice, you take your pulse rate. If your pulse rate goes up 8 or 10 beats, that says that orange juice is not good for you. You could be very well allergic to it. So I used that same basic approach, and I stopped eating everything, and the only thing I ate was eggs. And much to my surprise, there was no parasitic activity. None. And then I added butter to my eggs. And again, there was no parasitic activity. Now, after a few days of this, you'll want to keep notes because you don't want to completely rely on your memory, and particularly because most of us who have these organisms suffer from brain fog, which makes it difficult. I mean, you walk from one room to another room, and for the intention of getting something from the other room, and when you walk in the other room, you forget what you walked into the room for. That's an example of brain fog. That's how bad it can be. So it's beneficial and highly suggested that you keep a diary and keep notes. It made the complete difference in me getting my life back. For then when I added taco chips, oh, bae, the parasites went nuts, you know, and within 20 minutes I knew that was a mistake. But it takes maybe a day, 2 days to get back to normalcy again. So the benefit of the work that I did in keeping the notes that I did is that I have a complete full list, very detailed, as to what the diet is. And I named it the King Diet because it's king of all diets when it comes to parasites. I mean, sure, you may have another diet that you've worked with and enjoyed and found beneficial in your life, but it's not going to work for skin parasites. The paleo diet is not going to work. The caveman diet is not going to work. Why won't they work? Well, number one, every one of them will allow, for instance, olive oil. And olive oil, any expert will tell you, is criminal crop. It's a very good oil, but the parasites love it. They love canola. They love corn oil. They love all kinds of vegetable oil. They love all kinds of soy oil, all kinds of peanut oil. They love it all. So I discovered over that period of time, for instance, you can only have real butter, not blends. Blends or anything hydrogenated is out. Real lard or rice bran oil. And in researching rice bran oil, I found it's pretty darn good oil. It's got one of the higher flash points, boiling points. It's a very high quality oil. So those are the oils that you can have. When it comes to vegetables, what you can have basically any leafy vegetable. Cauliflower, broccoli. Asparagus, though, is a problem. I have no idea why, but asparagus is an issue. It is out. Brussels sprouts,
Brussels sprouts
are healthy, and they are healthy. But again, they are out, a problem. I have no idea why. You have to talk to the parasites because I don't know. I don't know the exact theory. Some people thought the diet works because it's low in phosphorus. I don't know why it does work. But you can have zucchini, all kinds of leafy vegetables, beans, green beans, even the sweet peas, you can have them. When it comes to meats, you can eat just about any meat you want. You want to avoid oily fish. The Chilean sea bass, bad news. Salmon, you would want to avoid. You never ever want to eat tuna in oil. Never ever, or never eat sardines in oil, because you'll have a problem within 10 minutes. It'll drive you crazy. So the diet is very detailed, very specific. When it comes to condiments, ketchup, mustard, they have ingredients in them that are going to feed it. In Chapter 5 of the book, we have many, many recipes. And there are a couple of recipes for making your own mayonnaise, which if you buy store-bought Hellmann's, I love it, but forget it. It will activate the parasites. But you can make your own mayonnaise. You can make your own ketchup. Horseradish is great. Strangely enough, from what I understand, sauerkraut. I wouldn't think so, but sauerkraut seems to be okay. Things that are fermented generally aren't. And here's an interesting thing. Stage 2 of the diet, blue cheese is super. I would think that would be the worst thing in the world, but blue cheese is great. So there are some idiosyncrasies, and there are some things that people on Morgellons can have, and that Columbella and the people on Columbella can have. For instance, when you get to stage 2 of the diet, if you only are dealing with Columbella, hey, ice cream, sugar, no problem. Soda, no problem. But if you're dealing with Morgellons, it's a big problem. Sugar seems to be forever out of the picture. Well, anyway, it's detailed in Chapter 3. When I sent out the email to everybody, and just about everybody I sent emails out to, they get a copy of the diet, at least stage 1 and stage 2, the foods to stay away from, and the foods that are healthy. So, Robin, you have anything to add? Now, the diet, for me, kicked in right away. You can thank your lucky stars it did, because if it took as long for the diet to kick in for me as it did for Robin, I wouldn't be here. I'd be probably dead, because I never would have discovered the diet.
Yeah, well, the diet took a long time for me, but it was really because my environment was so infested that, well, first I was making mistakes on the diet. Like I bought stevia, but it had other things in it, which were sugars.
Can you imagine stevia with sugar?
Right, which is most of the ones you get in the supermarket. It's like there's salt with sugar in it. It's crazy. You get really good at reading labels. But because my environment was so bad, it didn't matter. And actually, I was super sensitive to sauerkraut till I reached stage 2. I couldn't eat sauerkraut. At first, I couldn't even eat rice. I mean, I was just like a hot mess. I don't know how to. And yeah, so. But when I went on Pyrethrin, which is a Tourette syndrome drug, which cuts the dopamine intake to the brain, makes you unattractive to parasites, and all of a sudden the diet kicked in like crazy, and I was able to attack my environment then instead of being attacked. And I moved quickly. Well, I stayed on stage 1 anyway for a long time just to make sure, but I was able to move through stage 2 and into stage 3 easily once I started getting my environment under control. And this second round, where I have been dealing with a reinfestation, I haven't needed the Pyrethrin. The diet kicked in right away because I don't make mistakes anymore. And and it's been great. It's been really great. The only time I you know, I'm battling a severe infestation of mites, and I'm winning. But anytime I tackle a section of my house that I haven't tackled before, I get reinfested, and it's obviously the environment, not the diet. And within 2 or 3 days, I'm clear again because of the diet and the baths. You know, so the diet is like the cornerstone, and I thank God that you discovered it, Richard. I thank God you didn't go through what I went through, because I don't know what I would do without it. Yeah, it's pretty important.
Thank you, Robin. I always say, do the diet, don't try the diet. And before we go on, and I forget, I need to, it's important to do an FDA disclosure. The FDA requires me to inform everybody on this call, anybody who might listen to this call when it's posted on YouTube. It is being recorded. It will be posted on YouTube later on, and the link to it will be available. The FDA requires me to inform everybody that I'm not a medical doctor. Neither is Robin, neither is Barbara, neither is Ethel or Sandra, my other coaches that work with me. None of us are physicians. Before you start the diet or accept any of our recommendations or my recommendations, you are to discuss them thoroughly with your doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems that you're presently experiencing. The AMA also suggests that, demands that I tell you that we are not here to cure, to treat, or mitigate any skin disease or any disease whatsoever. The purpose of the work that I do and what we do in helping you and coaching you is to inform you, educate you on how to clean them. Clean them out of your environment. Clean them out of your skin. Clean them out of your body. And we clean them out of our bodies through the diet and the targeted supplements that are in the protocol to build health and immune functioning. So that being said, I do want to say something. This call, or this recording, is a working call for the people who are in our program. The people who are in our program have the free ebook. It's free to everybody. This is not just a ebook that is 10 pages long to try to sell you something or whatever. This is a 250-some page ebook that has references and links to items on our blog to further detail it. If I put everything in that book that was in the blog and the book, it would be about 600 pages long. So the ebook is great. You click on the link, it takes you to a blog post which further explains whatever the book is talking about. So you don't have to click on every link, because every link is not going to necessarily be of interest to you. So it's there. So this is a working program for people who have gone through the book and are on the diet or attempting to get the diet to work for them. Now, there are people who have been welcomed, who perhaps are in Facebook groups or other groups. I welcome you. Again, maybe a lot of what we're talking about is not going to make much sense to you. Okay? In fact, my program may not be for you. I'm not here to sell you on any products or sell you on anything. We go from Robin's experience, my experience, and those people who are on the call who are in the program will share. So the good thing about it being on YouTube is that you can go on YouTube and you can listen to it and you can just pass over this part. You know, boom, who wants to listen to him talk about that and get into something else or into a question. I'm looking for a volunteer and anybody on the call who tunes in routinely every week. If someone would volunteer to kind of like be a secretary and maybe make a list of the subjects that are handled every week, and then at the end of the call, email them to me, and I could add it sort of like a table of contents to the call, because the call will go about 2 hours. And if anybody says you couldn't get your question in, please don't give me that. There's plenty of dead space, plenty of time for you to ask your question. We don't hang up until there are no more questions. That has been our motto, and that's been the way it's been for over a year and a half. So this call is for you. The purpose of our call is twofold. One is to take those emotions of frustration, aggravation, irritability, depression, confusion, anger, and convert them into a call to action. Now, I go through Facebook. Facebook depresses me. People write in, they write, oh, I got these things coming out of my ear. Anybody else have these things coming out of my ear? What do you do about it? Somebody says, well, I did this and this. Hey, not one thing is going to work for everybody, and not everybody has the same things coming out of their ears. Even people send me pictures and they send me videos. It tells me nothing. It doesn't tell me if things are jumping on your ankles or and they're itch and bite like fleas do. It doesn't tell me if you find black specks in your bedding, and it doesn't tell me if you find cotton-like, lint-like. The questionnaire, and there was a questionnaire that went out with the emails. If you complete that questionnaire and send it back to me, I can give you a very detailed analysis of what's going on with you and specific recommendations. And those specific recommendations are detailed and they're lengthy. So you're not going to find one thing to put on your ear to get rid of that thing coming out of your ear. It just doesn't work that way. There are people that have been in the program maybe 10 years ago and gave up on it and say, oh, that program doesn't work. Well, you didn't stick with the diet. You didn't know how to stick to the diet. You didn't have Robin's experience. You didn't have our experience. You didn't come back and make the diet work. I guarantee you, you make this diet work and the diet works, you'll be on the path. But there are 4 things to do simultaneously, not just one. One is the diet. And if you don't deal with the environment, Robin was, how do you know if a diet's working? You sit down, and if your chair is infested, you're going to have activity. So you don't know whether it's the chair or the diet sometimes. It's confusing as hell. Which is it? But it's important to disinfect the environment. And the chapter 3 is detailed. About 55, 60 pages of detail on how to disinfect, different disinfectants that you can use. So diet, disinfection of the environment, cleaning them out of your skin, up to 3 baths a day. Now, I don't care what you use in a bathtub. We have Nature's Gift. If you read the book, we reference the products that we have developed. The products that we have been lauded as the best in the industry. But if you can find something that does the same thing that our products do, I don't care. Use it. Make it work for you. So I'm not here to sell you anything that's in. It just happens we put a lot of investment, a lot of time to develop products that are incredible. The supplements, a lot of research to get the right supplements that are compatible with the diet, because 99%, well, try multiple vitamin. There's only one multiple vitamin in the entire world that's completely compatible with the diet, and it's in our store. It was developed for Lyme disease, and it has nothing in it that can be counter against the diet. So, but if you can find the supplements that are compatible with the diet, go for it. Do the research, find them. Otherwise, my goal was to have everything in our store that you could ever want at one-stop shopping, so to speak. So we're going to turn it over to anyone who would like to share your experiences with the diet or any questions about the diet. Robin did mention, and it's true for me too, stage 1 of the diet would have been my limit if it had not been for Primazod, which is also called ORAP. It would have been so if I had not happened upon an old-time dermatologist who actually knew something about mites. This old-time dermatologist knew that there was a county fair where there was an infected tent of straw, that many people have become infected of mites, and they were treated with Primazide. He shared that with me. That's my introduction to Primazide, not from a psychiatrist that said I was nuts or that I was crazy or that it was stress-related. And only recently we found that these medications reduced dopamine uptake in the brain. And a blog or two ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did a blog about the dopamine, and it turns out that parasites, these little parasites, they are systemic. The Columella, the Morgellons, systemic means they are internal. They are in your bloodstream. And guess what? They create enzymes that create dopamine. They feed on dopamine. So the medications actually are dual purpose. They have their purposes with Tourette syndrome, schizophrenia, depression, and bipolar. Yeah, these medications across the board have all those, but they're also repurposed as reducing dopamine uptake from the brain so that we can get a head start. So by introducing the ORAP in my life allowed me to go to stage 2. And eventually I went on to stage 3 where I now eat everything I want. So don't think you have to be on this diet forever, ever, and ever and ever. I can eat everything. Robin, you'd like to say something?
I just wanted to say 2 things. I wanted to say in terms of people not getting to ask their questions. Sometimes, Chris mutes people because there's noise that they can't hear. And if you come on the phone on time, if you come on the call on time, you get my cell phone number, and you can always text questions, and text questions will always get asked and answered. And the other thing I wanted to say about the environment is I've been testing out the microbial cleaner, and which only works on like microbes, right, or super teeny tiny things. And I have a little apartment attached to my house that has been, filled with mites, and I have a tenant who has been getting bitten by the mites, and I used the microbial cleaner once in conjunction with flea bombing and ozoning and everything else that I do, but the thing that I did different was the microbial cleaner, and he told me 2 days ago that he hasn't gotten bitten in 10 days. Since I used it.
Well, that's incredible. That's new. For those of you who are new, for those of you who are new on the program, we just introduced this microbial. Well, it's not a disinfectant. It's not a cleaner. It's an antimicrobial. It's a solution that you spray on a clean surface. You clean the surface first. You don't expect this material to clean the surface for you. You clean the surface, you spray it on. After it dries, it adheres to the surface, and the other side forms carbon spikes, 1/1000th the thickness of a human hair. Any microbe that lands on that or touches it is, what do you call it? It's speared. It's history. It's by microbe. Now, the thing we don't know, or didn't know, and Robin has an insight here, is whether it's effective with larger organisms. It's not going to kill a mite, a full-grown mite. It's not going to kill a full-grown Columella, but maybe their offspring, as soon as they're born from eggs, perhaps then, in the larva stage, perhaps then, and maybe. This is the first feedback I've gotten from this microbial surface guard 90.
And I also used, I did the whole house with less than 1 16-ounce bottle and an electrostatic sprayer, using it at 100%. And my counters, you know how both mites and Columella love moisture, and around my kitchen sink, I was constantly cleaning it because they were constantly coming back. And they haven't come back in 2 weeks in that area.
Incredible. See, the other thing about the microbial is that it doesn't wash away. If you have a surface that you never touch, it's on there for a year. That surface only needs to be treated a year. If you're talking about doorknobs where you touch every day, that surface only needs to be treated once a month. So it can only be removed by abrading, by using something like Ajax to scrub it away, or using one of these scrubbing pads. That's the only way you can get it off of the surface. And it's carbon. It is inert. It's not chemical. It's not a chemical kill. It's not like ammonia. There's a chemical kill. It's not like vinegar or anything else like that. It's simply a mechanical kill, very much like diatomaceous earth. So that's another advantage. And you can also, when you spray it, you can spray it with enzymes. So if you want to mix it with enzymes, you can spray the enzymes, and they're the somewhat like the disinfectant, and the microbial, it'll stay there forever, practically. So thanks for sharing. But let's get back to the diet. Anyone like to share your experiences with the diet?
I would like to share one.
Okay.
One thing. I'm sorry. I just want to say, you know, the diet is strict, and you have to read labels, but it doesn't mean you can't be creative. And there's lots of, like, I'm writing a recipe book for stage 1 of the Morgellons King diet, and there's lots of great things you can have. Like today, I made brunch for myself, and I had lemon spelt pancakes with sugar-free bacon, fresh coffee that I brewed with stevia, and, you know, it was delicious. It was wonderful. And there's plenty of great stuff you can have on the diet. Again, you just have to be centered and calm enough to be creative.
Chapter 5 of the book, in the near the end of it, there's a space devoted to Robin's recipes. It's called Robin's Corner, so check it out. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Robin. Anyone else? Someone else like to share your experience with the diet, or any questions about the diet?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm Donna, and
Hi, Donna.
I guess, hi. Oh, okay, you can hear me. That's good. Okay, I'm a sugar person, and I wonder if there's anything else besides stevia and stevia that is compatible with sweetening that's okay to use, or is that even that not good? And what about sorbitol, things like that?
Definitely not Truvia. Definitely not anything with an OL. The only thing is true, real stevia.
Real stevia. Okay, now they have just the leaf part of it for sale, just so that you know that.
It can't have any other ingredients. When you read the ingredients, it has to say ingredients stevia. If it has anything else.
And not stevia, and not, okay.
We have stevia. If there's any confusion, we have it in the store. The one that we have is by now. You can get it from Amazon or anywhere. But if you come in our store, you may as well order it along with whatever else you order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyone else like to share your experience with the diet? Any questions about the diet?
Richard,
I have a question.
This is Maria from San Antonio, and I have a question about that electrostatic sprayer. For a while, it was not possible to get one here because of problems with trade with China, but is it available now?
Yes, it is available now. The bad news is that we can't get the model anymore. That was about $800. The model now is like $1,450. It's supposedly a better sprayer because it does a double charge, and I had no idea that even was available, but that's the best we can do.
Okay. And one other thing I'd like to say, I am getting a lot of static. It's loud and almost rhythmic. Is anybody else having that problem? Sometimes I can't hear the people.
Huh.
That's something we have to apologize for. We don't know. When Robin was talking, I was hearing some static. I thought it might be coming from her, but I'm not sure. But I don't hear any static right now. It's perfectly quiet.
Yeah, I don't either.
Do you hear it now when I talk? Do you hear static again now?
No, I don't hear any static at all.
No, I don't. I heard a wee bit just then, but it stayed in the background.
Yeah. Maybe one day our technical people will figure out how we can do this and eliminate it, because it is disconcerting and it's aggravating, and it would irritate me if I was listening to this call.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else like to share about the diet or ask questions about the diet, the topic of the day, before we get into other topics?
I have 3 diet questions from Mary from Chicago.
Okay.
Okay. She wants to know, what do you think about taking SSKI? I don't know what that is.
Supersaturated potassium iodide.
Yeah, for Morgellons. Also, red reishi spore oil and Max Ox. Is that Max 1 she means? And then the other part of the question is Fen-Ben safe at 300 milligrams per day?
Okay, first of all, supersaturated potassium iodide. It is in our store. It is completely safe to take it, to use it. You'd have to look at the description to find out what the instructions are. I don't remember them offhand. You could use that with anything else that you're doing. It would not be incompatible with anything, to my knowledge. What was the second item?
Red reishi spore oil.
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it at all. Again,
Isn't reishi a mushroom? It's a red mushroom, and I don't think.
Yeah.
I think there's only 2 kinds of mushrooms we can eat.
I know you can eat the red mushroom. I know the black mushroom is good. There are, I'm sure, other species that are okay. In terms of the oil, I have no idea.
And
the only
I don't know what Mag Ox is, unless that was a typo.
Magnesium oxide.
Magnesium oxide is fine. You have to read the ingredients to make sure there are no other ingredients that would be a problem.
Okay.
And finally, is Fen-Ben at 300 milligrams per day safe?
I don't remember the dosage of the Fen-Ben. When I send out recommendations, I pass along the recommendations from Dr. Luna, who has it on. We get it from his website. I know that you take it 3 days, and then you're off for 4, and you're 3 on and off for 4. But I think that's okay, but I don't remember the exact numbers.
Okay, thanks.
You can email me, and I can look it up for you and get back to you. And if you haven't completed the questionnaire, please do so. I invite you to do that, and everything will be in the questionnaire, or the recommendations I send you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
How about cream cheese?
Cream cheese?
Uh-huh.
No way, Jose. Goat cheese in the beginning would be good. I'm not sure if you could have it at stage 1 or you have to wait to stage 2, but I'd start with goat cheese. Well, like I said earlier, the funny thing was that blue cheese seems to be okay. But again, there are idiosyncrasies. So this is why the diary is so important. As Robin stated, she had trouble with rice in the beginning. And rice is pretty safe for everybody. Now, I will caution you, because we are not here to deal with Candida, but it is detailed in depth in the book, all the symptoms and everything and the different stages of it. And if you have a bloating, inability to digest and bloating sensations and those symptoms, it could be Candida, and you don't want white rice. You take away the white rice and use the brown rice, and the diet is pretty much a Candida diet. Anyone else have a question or like to share?
I have a quick, simple question. This is Beth. I know nearly all nuts are out, but I think, Richard, you may have mentioned that one nut was in. Is there one nut that we're allowed to have in phase 1, or are all nuts out?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand your question.
She wanted to know if all nuts are out on stage 1.
Nuts, all nuts are off of stage 1. Walnuts, macadamias, I think Brazil nuts are good for stage 2.
Okay, yeah, I remember. I had thought you said
Almonds,
walnuts.
definitely no almonds, no pine nuts, no cashews. Stage 3.
Okay, so wait till stage 2 to add the walnuts back in.
Right.
Got it.
Thank you for your question. Anyone else like to ask a question or share your experience with the diet?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes? I do want to say that the diet is like the tree trunk of the tree. It's the trunk of the tree. And the tree has a lot of different limbs. The protocol I've developed is in determining which of those limbs are most important. The book pretty much covers almost every limb on the tree, but my recommendations narrow down the most important limbs. But without the diet, forget it. I don't know how anything else works.
I agree.
Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I would. Lynn
Yes.
from California. Does anybody have a problem with, like, one of the sores bleeding more than anything would?
What
I
was-
didn't get the question.
What?
Well, if you have a facial, you know, one little sore,
Lesion?
like with a
Facial
scab,
Yeah.
what? Does it? Do they bleed excessively?
I don't think they actually bleed that much. It's more of you know, that topic has never come up as to whether or not they bleed. Many people have facial lesions, ulcerations, and we have like 4 different approaches to dealing with it. We have in the store a deep wound cleanse kit, which is a liquid, and then also a cream that you apply. There's a medication in the recommendations that is a rifampicin, which is an antibiotic that many people use for clears up lesions pretty quickly. People mix paste of the kinase enzymes and apply that. We have a nano glutathione. You can apply, it comes in a dropper, and you can drop that on right into the lesion. So there's plenty of ways of healing them up, but I don't know about the bleeding.
Thank you. I'm interested enough that I'm going to have to get on your website and get the item, because this is the strangest thing I've ever been through in my life, diarrhea.
Please take a few minutes and complete the questionnaire. It was connected to the email that went out. If you got here through somebody sharing a phone number, email me take a pencil and paper right now, or make a note on your laptop. K as in kick, N as in Nancy, I as in ice, C as in cat, the number 2 at Verizon.net. Nick 2 at Verizon.net. KNIC 2 at Verizon.net, not .com, .net.
Oh. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it, and I need to get my questionnaire filled out desperately. I've been not capable for months, but that's because I'm a computer illiterate. And I just want to say thank you for all your information, and my diametrious earth is all over my floor.
Okay. I had the dustiest. I had the dustiest house on the planet, I think.
You know what? I'm a fucking clean freak for floors, but I have the diametrius all over my floor. It's going to save me. I know it will.
Okay, thank you very much.
Everybody. Go on, everybody. Go on. Truck on. I'm going to listen. I'm signing off.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yeah, this is Dottie from Pennsylvania.
All right.
When you start getting hair back on your legs, does that mean that those pores are free? Are clear?
Well.
And will the stuff come back again?
Okay, I'm not sure what you meant about hairs on the back of your legs.
No, on your legs that you have to shave normally. Mine were completely gone. The hair was completely gone on my legs. Well, now I've noticed the last couple of days it's coming back. So does that mean that those pores are clear now?
I don't know enough to answer that question. All I know is once you get these things out of your system, and if you're following the protocol, the diet, disinfecting, and cleaning your skin, it's pretty much certain that when you start this process, your skin has been destroyed at least 2 or 3 layers deep, and it takes some time through the bathing and cleansing to get those surface layers out and gone so that your new skin can come back. And when your new skin comes back, it would be normal that facial hairs, hair on your head and so forth, or your legs would start growing again.
Yes.
Okay, then, but if after it comes back to normal, can those same places get bad again?
You can always be reinfected.
Okay.
So you can get your life. I don't want to depress anybody out there, but it's not. I mean, I've been reinfected probably 4 or 5 times, maybe more, in the course of 20-some years. Right now, where I live, if I go outside certain times during the summer where they seem to be more active, if I don't wear riding boots, I will get reinfected. Fortunately, I know what it feels like. I can deal with it very quickly, and within a couple of hours, I can get rid of the things. If I didn't know what to do, they'd be all over my house within 2 days, and I'd be in a basket again of misery.
So what's the first thing you do?
Well, they have to be out of the environment, or you have to know where they are in the environment and that what you need to do when you're in that area of the environment. For instance, I know they're around my patio swing, so I never sit on my patio swing for any length of time unless I'm wearing riding boots.
Okay.
Riding boots come up about 18 inches. They can't jump higher than that.
Oh, good. Okay.
So to me, that's a small cost to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the antimicrobial might do, I don't know. It's new, so that's definitely something I'm going to be using.
Will you spray it outside?
You can spray it anywhere.
Okay.
It's not going to wash away. It's going to stay on the surface.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I comment on the hair?
This is
the gentleman
Bill
first.
In Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
This is Bill in Colorado.
Yes, hi.
Yeah. On this new disinfectant, has anybody tried that on carpet or on linoleum yet?
Tried what on carpet or linoleum?
The microbial.
You can use it on carpet. You can use it in your laundry. In fact, one treatment, 4 ounces of the antimicrobial for 10 to 12 pounds of dry laundry will treat that laundry for the life of it.
Oh, can't wait.
So you can spray it on your carpet. If you're going to spray it on your carpet, the best thing would be to, use a brush to brush it into the carpet. Or if you use the electrostatic sprayer. But you can put it on your floor, you can put it on your couch. You wouldn't want to spray it onto a moldy surface. If you have a surface that's full of mold, like maybe you get in a basement, you want to clean that off with ammonia before you treat it.
I'd like to say that I used the microbial on a futon with a very heavy cover on it, and first I washed it with like an upholstery cleaner, and then I sprayed it, and it seems to be fine. It made a big difference.
That sounds
it
good.
was very infested. So I don't know about rugs, but it worked on that, and
again, this is a very new thing that we just added to the store, and I caution you, I can't make claims because it's so new. We don't know.
Right, and I've only used it once. I can't say it's going to last forever, and I don't, I just tested it out. All I know is that I saw some results that were positive, and time will tell.
Thank you.
What
Anyone
about using that on a large mattress, a king or queen size mattress, and then closing it up again with a plastic covering?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
I have a question from Gladys. She's been on Pyrethrin for 3 months, and she feels very sluggish and weak. She's been on the diet for 4 months, and the parasite activity is better, but it's not gone, and she's losing too much weight. She doesn't know, she's feeling a little hopeless. She doesn't know what to do about gaining weight or what to do about the parasites. And before you answer, Richard, I'd just like to say a couple of things about that. The Pyrethrin does make you sluggish. It does make you weaker. But if you're not attacking the environment as intensely as you're doing the diet, it's not going to be very effective. So just be aware of that, because you, just like I got reinfected from my environment all the time, that's what's going to happen. So
that's a very important point.
Find a way to attack your environment. And there are plenty of things that you can eat that will help you gain weight on the diet. If you make it to stage 2, you can have red potatoes. You can make mashed potatoes. You can make baked potatoes. You can make you can make pan-fried potatoes with onions using rice bran oil. Potatoes have a lot of calories. You can eat, beef and chicken. You can make spelt pancakes. You can buy spelt bread at Berlin Bakery. Lots of ways and you can make rice a staple of your diet. So the key is to eat many small meals a day, and even though you can't eat a lot of different carbs, there are carbs you can eat, and protein that you can eat that will help you maintain weight. But you have or it'll just keep coming back. Sorry you're struggling.
Yes, Pyrethrin, it took me 4 months to get these organisms out of my couch. So it's really difficult if you have an area of your house that's infected. And the funny thing was that eventually I found that the organisms were in the tuft on the end of the footrest. They weren't on the footrest. They weren't under the footrest. On the ends of the footrest is where they were. So it's a very big challenge to make sure you got them out of the environment. And then Pyrethrin isn't the only medication. If the drowsiness and so forth is not good, you can have your doctor look at one of the other medications that are there. Abilify, which is an antidepressant, and that would be a good one as well. Oh, by the way, there was a link. I gave out a YouTube link for a recording for anybody to listen to it. Inner World of Tranquility.
You can get to listen to it yet, but I'm going to.
I personally have been not with it because I'm so with the graphies. Anyway, any information, keep going. I'm not going to interrupt you. Sorry, going away. Bye-bye.
Okay, anyone else like to share, ask questions about the diet?
Yes, I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
Rhoda from San Diego. I need to know how hard is it to help a cat if they have it in their fur or whiskers?
Oh, God.
How can you tell if they have it?
Oh, wait.
And is it hard to help them?
Did you get that question, Robin? I didn't quite hear it.
Yeah, she wants to know how to help a cat.
Oh, you're the expert.
I can answer with, what I've done.
All right.
So, yes, cats can become totally infested, and I know there are some other therapies out there for cats, but I'll tell you what I did for my cat, who is sleeping right next to me, Tiger. So first, I got Program, which is basically Lufeneron, which we take. It kills them inside your body. And Program is, you can get it from your vet, or you can get it online at an online pet store. You put it in their food once a month. And then I got a Seresto collar, which kills things on their skin, and it lasts 8 months. And then I got, here, you want to help me tell about this? Oh. This is Tiger. Say hi. And then I got Adam's Pyrethrin Flea Dip for dogs and cats. And some people have said that a sulfur dip worked, and Richard has sulfur dip in the store, but it didn't work for me or Tiger. So the Pyrethrin Flea Dip, you take 1 capful. It's a little bottle. You take 1 capful. You have 2 containers, each with 2 cups of water in them. In one container, you put the flea dip, and the other one just clean water, both warm water, 2 washcloths. You hold the cat by the neck like a mother holds its kitten, and you take a... No, it's actually easy. I put off doing this for months because I'm by myself, and now I give him a flea dip pretty much monthly. But initially I was giving it to him every week. And you hold him by the neck like a kitten, and you wet the washcloth with the stuff, and you just rub it everywhere, all over him. Hold him for 5 to 10 minutes. Initially I could barely hold him for 5 minutes, and now I can do 10 minutes. And then you take the clean water with the clean washcloth and wipe him off with it to rinse him off. And he dries off, and it was awesome. It was miraculous. And my cat, all his hair grew back. He was losing his hair. He's not itchy. He's happy. He runs around the house. And he's 15.
Normal.
So that's what I do for cats. Also,
and how often do you have to do that?
I know the microbial has a name, and I think it's called Surface Guard 90 Microbial, but someone texted and asked where you find it in the store.
It's in the disinfection system. You go down to the Parasite store, and there's a tab for Parasite store that opens up another group of tabs, and you go to the disinfection tab. Robin, did you feed your cat anything? Was he on the diet basically, or did you feed him anything?
I found this regional, really healthy cat food that I give my cat. It's the only thing he can digest. Everything else was making him throw up. So that's what my cat gets. It's called something red, and it's made out of regional whole fish and chicken and beef, and no grains or anything in it. It's really healthy, and I had read about how cats and dogs need oils, and I would put a little pat of really healthy, really good butter, like Irish butter, in his dish with the food, and he would go for that first, and then when that built up in his body, he stopped wanting it. And sometimes I'd give him coconut oil, but he wasn't on the diet.
Right.
Sounds like what...
How long did it take to heal him?
Well, I mean, just like us, I mean, it's an ongoing thing. I'm never going to take him off program or Seresto collars, but first I got the program, then I got the collar, then I started really disinfecting my house, and then it took about 3 weeks of giving him one flea dip a week, and he seemed like he was pretty clear, and he's been that way ever since.
Okay. And also, how about his cat John? How do you control the cat John?
How what?
How do you decontaminate the cat John? I mean, I know you clean it
The
out.
kitty litter?
Yeah.
Well, I spray the kitty litter every day with either the enzyme cleaner or ammonia when I know he's not going to go in it right away. And I also spray, in the wintertime, his cat bed. I wash it frequently, and I spray it with enzyme cleaner. And once I pull it out for this winter, I'll spray it with the microbial stuff.
And you can also dust with diatomaceous earth.
Right, diatomaceous earth is really good. You can sprinkle it all over any place they're going to hang out. You can put it in their kitty litter. You can rub it in their skin, and it will kill things. Yeah.
Great. Anyone else have a question?
Since it's October and we're into Halloween season, all you need to do is put a big bowl of diametres out in the outside and let everybody roll in it, and we'll all be fine, I believe.
Yeah, but
we wish, right?
I wish for it. I wish for it so much. I wish for it. I'm now rubbing this stuff on my hands. I used to be afraid to fucking dust my chickens with the diametres earth, and now I'm rubbing it all over my hands, and I don't care if I breathe it or not either.
Well, you really don't want to breathe it in. You really don't.
I know, but when you have to put it on the ground in your room, you're going to stomp on it. It's going to go in the air. And then you hold it in your hand, which I think is the best thing ever, I believe. I think it's going to heal me. I'm praying. And oops, sorry again. Chickens are...
I have a question I'd like to ask.
Let her go. Bye-bye.
Well, does diatomaceous earth kill lice or columbola?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
Well, it will kill anything that comes in contact with it, but
yeah.
But springtails aren't just on the floor. They float in the air, and they're everywhere. They're in your hair.
Oh, God, I know.
I found that neem oil and I found Garden Safe Fungicide 3, which is an organic pesticide that's 70% neem oil, kills columbola really effectively. And I'm sure that, and I made a spray out of that. Yeah.
I have a question I'd like to ask. If the stage is clear, may I ask a question? What about microscope? how useful is it to have a microscope? You all talk about locating where the parasites are, like on a certain part of the furniture. Is a microscope really very helpful, or what do you have to say about that, Richard, or anybody?
I don't know how I would use a microscope because I used a microscope maybe 20 years ago because, as most people who take pictures, you want to substantiate that there is something there that you can actually show to somebody like a doctor or a dermatologist to get some kind of agreement. So that was my early approach. It never worked. I saw these things. I used to have the shiny glitter on my skin, and they showed up in the microscope as little tiny spheres, which I surmised was the eggs of some kind of mite, I suppose. I don't know, never. And any samples I ever took to the doctor were dismissed. In fact, highly recommended you never take a sample to a doctor, never ever.
It won't prove that you're not delusional?
No, in fact, it does the opposite. It'll prove that you are delusional.
Oh, I see. I think the doctors are delusional. Okay.
Can I make a comment, please?
They assume they know more than you do. So don't take a sample to a doctor. Never, ever.
I'd like to make a comment.
Don't even mention the word Morgellons. He's supposed to figure out what's wrong with you.
Right.
So you show him the symptoms, you show him the lesions, and then let him figure it out. And he's still probably going to diagnose you as delusional.
Wow. Yeah.
Or give you creams and lotions that are going to work for a few days and then not.
So when you discover that your parasites have congregated on the edge of a piece of furniture, they're not in the middle, but they're on the edge, you have to just submit to their attacks, their biting attacks, and that's how you know, I guess.
Well, how I figured out where they were is that one day I was looking at it and I was saying, where the heck can they be? I'm killing them here, I'm killing them there, and then suddenly my eyes went to the end of the footrest and I saw the tuft of where the fabric is put together, and I said, that I never sprayed there. And I sprayed there, and that was the end of it.
Wow, that's great to hear.
So
I have a question from Gladys. Are oats okay on stage 2 of the diet? Like real oats for oatmeal?
About 21 hours. I got them.
Could you hear me, Richard?
What? I didn't get that.
Are oats is oatmeal and oats okay for stage 2 of the diet?
Absolutely not.
That's what I thought.
No oats, no oatmeal.
Right.
Stage 3.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I have a question.
The only grains that are good for stage 2 are millet, rye, rice, and what's the other one? My favorite.
Oh.
Scalp.
Rye. Yeah,
I have a question.
Millet, rye, spelt, and
rice flour.
And better to go with brown rice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Yeah, what about quinoa that's mixed with rice sometimes? No?
What?
Quinoa?
Quinoa.
Q-I-N-O-A? No?
No, as far as I know, it's not. It's not going to work. Someone emailed me some time ago and said they were trying it. And I told them to write back if it worked. He never wrote back, so I'd say no. I mean, anything that's not listed, like I said, the diary is your key. So get to the point where you are reaction-free for at least a day, and then try it out. And if you react within 20 minutes, you got your answer. It'll take you maybe a day or two to get back to where you were, but you know your answer. So that's why it took me about 2 years to figure the diet out, because you can't test something new every day. You've got to wait until you get reaction-free before you can try something new.
Right.
I have a question. This is Beth.
Hi, Beth.
How do you guys clean your kitchens afterwards? I would imagine, Richard, you used ammonia. But I don't do great. Like I can use minimal ammonia, but my kitchen is not super infested compared to other rooms of the house. And with all the cooking I'm doing in there, I want to make sure it doesn't get infected.
How do you clean what?
How do you use ammonia?
The kitchen after cooking. Like I'm imagining each time you cook, the kitchen should be like, do I spray the floor with ammonia? Do I split? What do I?
All right.
What do you spray your kitchen
if you have activity in the kitchen, then definitely the places they love to be is they love to be in the drain. So you want to treat your drain. You want to get them out of the drain. Another place they love is under the cabinets. There's a place for your feet, a recess. They love it in there. They hide in there. Now, in the beginning, the floors, these cabinets, they all have to be treated and sprayed. But once you have things kind of under control, it's basically those areas where they hide.
So each time you cook, are you spraying ammonia afterwards, like all over the floor?
Let's say you see what you want to protect against is that if you are active, they are jumping off of you. So wherever you go, they're going to be jumping off of you and 8 to 10 inches. If you have no itching, if you have no biting, then basically they're not active and they're not jumping off, and you don't have to treat the area.
Got it. Okay. That helps.
Or you could just, spray it at the end of the day, like the beginning of the day before you use the kitchen, and then at the end of the day when you leave it for good.
Even when I have no activity, like I do have activity today, but I had a several-week period where I had no itching, biting, crawling, and so I was confused. Like I was definitely I was cleaning my bedroom and my hallways still, but I didn't know if I should be clearing the whole house still.
I would.
Do these parasites crawl up the water faucet when you're not using it and come out when you run water?
I don't think so.
I wondered about that.
I don't think so.
Also, are they always small?
They're more like they're more like green.
What about the adults? Do they grow larger than the 600 microbe or millimeter, whatever? Teeny weenies. Do they ever grow larger?
Does one grow
knowledge?
Columbola is only about 300 microns in size.
And they never grow larger. I mean, someone, I think you mentioned before, the adults versus the babies. When they become adults, how large do they get?
The largest of the springtails is about 300 microns, which is the size of a dust particle.
Okay, then I do not have columbella. I have something very, very weird. Very long, like a foot.
Spaghetti?
They're like worms. They're very skinny, but they're very long and horrible. So.
Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I would like to ask a question. What makes that grittiness happen a few times a day? Grittiness around your eyes. but the particles seem to be very, very tiny.
Well, that's generally an indication of columbella, a gritty feeling around your eyelashes, your eyelids. It's an indication of columbella. How are you doing with the diet?
I'm not on it strictly. For the most part, I am. I try to avoid sweets.
Well, I have bad news for you. You're not on it at all.
No, I know. I know.
There is no most part to this diet. It's either all or nothing. It's 100% or you're just not on it.
But I have such a messed up body with displaced bones, lost 4 inches in height, rotated rib cage falling into the pelvic girdle. I cannot do the disinfection until I find some philanthropist to help me take care of that part of it, because I have excruciating pain from that. And if I could do that with the other things at the same time, I would be stricter on myself on the diet. But I just, the best I can do is avoid sweets for the most part. I have battled with this for many years and haven't gotten anywhere because of my orthopedic problems. And now it's getting harder to walk. So
do you take anything like acetaminophen?
What?
We don't do cross talking on the call. You can call someone after. Okay.
Thank
sorry.
you.
But now that you mentioned acetaminophen, it's the worst thing you can ever take for your liver, and because it does totally destroys glutathione. And if there's anything you want in your body, you want more glutathione. You do not want to take any medication that interferes or destroys glutathione. They should get rid of that company completely. They should take a shotgun and destroy all of it. It does more.
So what does one take for pain? Everything else is a no-no according to my doctor.
I take nothing.
Well,
I adjust my movements so that I don't hurt anymore. But I have to stop what I'm doing when I'm cooking. I can't stand very long at a time. And I control it that way because I don't want to get addicted, and I do not understand most of the pain medications. I don't like what I see commercially. I don't trust their literature.
Oh, thank you.
I don't like.
We're here to address the subjects of Morgellons and skin parasites. As far as pain goes, we're not prepared to discuss that topic. That's something we'd have to look into. I would say the first thing that you'd want, perhaps, is to start managing stress, and that's using some of the stress management techniques. I'd say that, number one, make it a point to click on that link I gave you for a relaxation experience that will knock your socks off. If it doesn't, tell me it didn't, because it's phenomenal, and go from there. I rarely use pain medication myself. The only one I ever use, which is not good because it also has medication, but I use Excedrin. It's the only thing that ever works for me, but everybody's different, and if I take 4 Excedrins a year, that's a lot.
Excedrin is full of bad stuff that damages the liver.
Stuff. It is bad stuff.
Which is acetaminophen.
When I take Excedrin, I know I'm taking bad stuff and I'm desperate, but I know it's only going to be one that I take.
I have a question, not to change the subject. I have a question from Gladys, another question. Will spraying vinegar on a mattress kill parasites?
Well, vinegar is a good disinfectant. It has to be, again, used repetitively. You don't spray it once and expect it to do it forever. You know, I'm really excited about your experience with the antimicrobial. And as time goes on, I think that if we get more feedback like that, I think the antimicrobial is going to replace ammonia and the need to use vinegar and things like this. But
well, yeah, but you have to clean it first. I mean, I sprayed and cleaned with ammonia and other cleaners before I sprayed the microbial. And then I certainly spray daily with that.
How long do
This
the
is Lynn
effects of
from
vinegar
California.
Hi, Lynn.
How long do the effects of vinegar last once you spray your kitchen cabinet or your bed?
Well,
we don't know that yet, but just give me 1 second. I pour vinegar, white vinegar, on my floor with 2 paper towels, so when I walk in and out of my room and in my kitchen and in my house, I have hopefully killed something on my way in and out. That's all I have to say about vinegar. I love it. And when my husband was in the ICU 3 years ago or whatever it was, they were washing the floors with vinegar. So I believe in vinegar. I'm not sure I'm dousing it hard enough. I would like to do an ammonia spray first and then douse the floor with the vinegar after that. Every day I pour vinegar on the floor, put 2 paper towels down, and I walk around on the stupid stuff, and I believe it's helping. And I also douse a paper towel and wash the handles off the sink, the refrigerator, every door handle. I wipe them down with the white vinegar, and that's all I have to say to be sound. And now my floor is covered in white, not covered, but basically the edges are, of diatomaceous earth, because I went that far, Richard. Thank you very much. I'm back where you were in the 90s. Love ya. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm done.
The challenge, it depends on the type of organisms you're dealing with. Like for me, ammonia did it. Vinegar would have probably done it. Some organisms are more resistant, so you have to go to deeper depth. There's the triple pesticide, which is a combination of 3 different pesticides: Onslaught, Exponent, and IGR inhibitor regulator. There's ozone. There's the electrostatic sprayer that you use. In fact, right now we're fine-tuning a report to come out. It's called Win the War of the Mite. It's based on an update I did about a month ago. And when I went through the update, when I created the update, I kept referencing blog posts that were done 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. So we're taking all of that information and putting it into one report, which hopefully will be available within a couple of weeks. But it goes through everything. It goes through treatments of laundry. It goes through the different techniques that you might have to go to, the different lengths that you might have to go to. So it can be like a checklist. Okay, you start with the easiest one. If that one works, great. If that one doesn't work, well, then you go to the next step. You try that. So you keep trying until you find out what works for you. But as long as you're active, then you need to think like you need to think like a parasite. And before you occupy any space, you need to disinfect it with either white vinegar or ammonia or something. And then when you leave that space, you need to disinfect it again. If you're sitting at a chair, at a table, these things are going to jump onto the table legs. They're going to jump onto the chair legs, under the chair. So you got to think and see where they're going to go. If you're standing at a counter, the kitchen sink, they're going to be jumping in that recess underneath where your feet go. So the foot recess. They're going to be around the floor. So the toilet. You sit at a toilet. You get up. You're going to have to treat the area around the toilet and the toilet.
Right.
So when you're active, you're going to be busy as heck treating every area.
really tiring when you're active because you're so wasted and tired. You don't want to be active. You want to go to sleep, usually, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, are you a pilot?
What?
Hi, guys.
Do you fly airplanes?
No, no.
I'm a pilot.
No.
Oh, well, I thought your terminology kind of described that you might be a pilot. Okay, I'm done. I'll shut up. I'm muted. Bye-bye, everyone.
Richard
Yeah.
might ride horses because he uses riding boots, right?
Yeah.
Someone's trying to ask a question. Someone a little quieter who keeps saying, "Hi, Richard." Go ahead.
Hello? Someone have a question?
Hi, guys. It's Marge. I just want to say a few things about the diet. The diet has changed my life. People think that I went on, had surgery on my body because I lost 60 pounds on the diet. I have more energy. But what I want to remind people that I've learned from Richard and Robin is you have to read everything. I bought iodized salt, and when I read it, it had dextrose in it, which was sugar. So I was feeding the parasites very innocently. Another thing is I used to make rosemary chicken, and rosemary would create activity. So we could be doing the diet perfectly, but we have to sort of be detail-oriented because something could throw us off. But it's a wonderful diet. It is so hard in the beginning that I cried over the diet, to the transition, giving up sugar, and I cut out I always had fresh mozzarella in the house, and, I cut all that stuff out. But I want to encourage people because I am doing better. I am not cleared. I have far to go, but I was able to go out today. I mean, I'm feeling so much better. So I want to encourage you to do the diet like Richard says. Don't try it. Just do it. And the lady who said she's not feeling well and she has all those issues with walking, the diet might make you feel better. There's something about that. And I'm sorry, I can't report about stage 2 or I haven't made the bread. I'm still on stage 1 for a few months now. I kind of like it. So I wanted to encourage everybody.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
to
you for
hear
your
that.
words of encouragement. Thank you. Okay, anyone else like to share your experience with the diet?
Yes, I have a question. Does anybody know anything about sulfur powder, flowers of sulfur?
What?
To sprinkle on, it's called sulfur powder, and it's flowers of sulfur to sprinkle on carpets or under furniture.
Yeah, sulfur powder can help, and sulfur cream is great on your skin. I still think diatomaceous earth is the best. You could mix them together.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question they'd like to share?
Hi, this is Deborah from California.
Yes, Deborah.
I'm not doing very well on a diet, first of all. That's what we're talking about. But I'm working at it, and I know what you said. You either do it or you don't. But to me, everything's a work in progress, and it does help.
We can't hear you, honey.
Take notes when I do.
Can you speak up, please?
Can you hear me?
Can you speak up?
Okay. And so, anyways, I'm still not doing the diet correct, but it's helping, and I will get it, and I'm not going to give up because it's just, for me, it is a work in progress, and I can't just do it or don't. It's going to be a progress for me. It might take me longer than others. I'm a little slow, but as I get results and I feel better, it gives me more energy to do more. So, anyways, I just wanted to share about the microscope thing. I find I have 2 of them, and I find it's a waste of time in a sense because I could be doing something more beneficial for myself. But my curiosity and what is this I'm feeling, gets the better of me. But I'm getting better at that too, not wasting time on the microscope. However, last week, because I keep feeling things on my, and I see nothing. So I put this tiniest piece of lint on a slide, and I saw something that was clear as day, that wasn't like looking at clouds. I saw something, and I go, what the heck is that? And I didn't know where to start to figure out what that is. But I was on the website, on the web, and I clicked on, look at microscopic parasites. And there it was. It came right up. And it was, because it was a strange-looking thing. and it was clear as day. You know, that's not the first time I've seen something, but I've identified the other ones, the mites. But this was a fluke. It was a fluke. It penetrates the skin type of fluke. I had to do extensive research because there's so many flukes out there. And this particular fluke I found out a lot about, and it's going to help me get better. But I would have never taken it to a doctor because they don't even look at photographs that I have that really show things because they just glance and they think I'm crazy. However, I did have one photograph video that I lost it in a boating accident, but it would get everybody doing something. But, you know, now nobody does anything. But it just showed, it was like a 5-second clip, and it got them to not put me in the nut house anyways. But that didn't help too much. But I just wanted to share the fact that, yeah, a microscope can be a waste of time because who you're going to show, and how are you going to know what you're seeing, what it is? You know what I mean? But I don't know what to do about this whole fluke thing, but I don't know. Anyways, that's all I wanted to share, and I'm going to work on the diet. It makes me feel better on days that I mess up and I eat sugar. I love sugar. I'm really sick for like 2-3 days after, so I don't love sugar so much anymore. That's all I have to say.
Yes, thank you for sharing. It's a frame of mind. And yes, there are people who make hobbies out of taking pictures of their skin and these things that they find.
But
I think doodling is better.
The doctors would have never found it. The doctors would have never found that, and it was so simple.
Yeah.
It only took me 5 years. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question from Ginger. She wants to know, the ultimate solution to get rid of issues with the scalp and biofilm on your scalp. And I know there are many solutions in your blog. I don't know if you want to answer that or direct her to the blog.
Well, bottom line is if you have a pencil, a piece of paper, and are quick at taking notes, number one, our Nature's Gift shampoo, either foaming or the non-foaming, it doesn't matter. This is what people have done. They make a mixture of stuff. So they take that, they take peppermint, or maybe you like lavender better, one of the essential oils, pick out one, they're all pretty much effective. If you're dealing with mites, maybe clove oil. Clove oil is pretty much targeted towards mites. Add in some Super Msm Gel. Now the Super Msm Gel is Msm Gel, which is phenomenal for the skin. It's organic sulfur, but this has Nature's Gift in it. It also has diatomaceous earth, so you want to shake it up because the diatomaceous earth settles to the bottom. Shake it up. Make a mixture of that. Claudia's Dream Cream is also another favorite. Take some of that. Make a mixture in your hand if you like, or in a little cup or something. Apply that to your skin, rub it in, massage it in. Put on a swimmer's cap. You want to duplicate your scalp being in a bathtub. You could do this in a bathtub, but the water would drain down into your eyes eventually. You can't keep it out. Then you'd end up with parasites in the eyes, and it'd be a bigger problem. So you want to do this. Put the bath cap on, or put on a garbage bag, small garbage bag, tie it around. Sleep in it, keep it wet. During the day, do this 2 or 3 times during the day. Change it. If you're going out, our greeting coach Ethel has suggested get a cancer cap. You can get them on Amazon. A cancer cap is for people who are under the cancer medication. They lose their hair and they don't want to go out looking bald, so they have this decorative cap that they wear. So you do this 2, 3, 4 times a day, and then each day maybe eventually you'll get to just once at night, and even when you feel nothing, you do it again. Now, remember, if you're dealing with mites, some mites have eggs that, the gestation period might be 21 days. So you might be doing this over the course of 21 days or longer. So it's being persistent, and even when you feel nothing, still do it, because it doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I have a question. This is Beth.
Hi, Beth.
I have a question about the dosing of Max 1. I've been on 1 pill of it for about a month. Is this something that we should increase, or do we just stay at 1 pill of it?
Well, Max 1, I think the recommended dosage is 2 capsules a day.
Okay, I've been doing 2 for the past few days, and I just wanted to get it.
Now, it depends on what your goals are. For instance, if you're dealing with inflammation. Now, the subject of pain came up earlier, and a lot of pain is from inflammation. So sometimes you may need to go up to as many as 7 or 8 capsules a day with Max 1. You want to watch for detox reactions. Max 1 significantly increases the level of glutathione in your system. Glutathione gets rid of toxicity. Toxicity is what Lyme disease feeds upon. So it starves Lyme disease, cleans it out. Max 1 protects the DNA from free radical damage. The ribose that it comes along with it feeds the mitochondria. They're like 1,000 little furnaces in every cell. They are the energy. When they burn out, your cell dies. If they burn too fast, your cell dies prematurely. So the glutathione regulates them, keeps them healthy. The D-ribose feeds them. So the glutathione is probably one of the most important. Without air, you can't live more than a few minutes. Without water, you're talking a few days. Without food, you're talking a few weeks. If you are glutathione deficient and have no glutathione, you're talking a few months. You're dead. After age 20, the amount of that glutathione that your body produces decreases 10% every year. Every decade. Injury depletes glutathione. Acetaminophen and drugs deplete glutathione. Radiation, EMF, depletes glutathione. Poor dietary and sleeping depletes glutathione. So this is stress all around us. And glutathione is one of the most important things that you can have. If you go to the health food store, you can buy glutathione supplements. They probably will have ingredients in it that are going to be not working with the diet. The glutathione supplement will boost your glutathione by 25 to 30%. That sounds like a lot. 2 capsules of Max 1 will boost your glutathione by 270%. Now that's significant. 6 capsules will boost it 1,000 or more percent. You can't have enough glutathione. It increases the ability of the hemoglobin to carry oxygen. So you put all that together and you're on your way perhaps to reducing pain, at least from inflammation. It's the body's major anti-inflammatory. If you have arsenic poisoning and are admitted to the hospital, the first thing they do is give you a shot of glutathione.
Wow.
Nothing more important. Now the next thing is the antibiotic, antiviral, penicillin. It's phenomenal. You put those two together and wow.
Okay.
Sorry, I got off onto that long jaunt.
It's okay.
Thank you. And I had a follow-up question, which is, I've never heard you mention anything in your books or the calls about the baseboards in our houses. Should we, like, I know some people put salt or diatomaceous earth or baking soda so that the mites don't go under the baseboards. Did you find that that wasn't necessary in your process?
Well, definitely, if you have baseboard heating, you want to spray that. You could spray it under the baseboard heating. You could open the vent on top and spray into the baseboard heating. I think I mean, if our dreams come true and this antimicrobial really is as good as we hope it is, one spraying of the antimicrobial will take care of your baseboard forever. Now, again, baseboard can accumulate dust. So somehow, it's a catch-22. Ideally, you want to turn your vacuum cleaner and direct the air to clean off the baseboard heating, but that would definitely spread the mites around if they're there. So it's a catch-22 there. So maybe just be happy spraying it and hoping that the best.
I actually don't just mean baseboard heating, although I needed that too because I have those. I mean like the baseboards along the entire house. I know some people will put like diatomaceous earth or Epsom salts around the baseboards of their entire home so the mites.
You're not talking about the heating baseboard, you're just talking about the regular molding?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not that important, but you could spray it. The organisms are attracted to moisture, so you want to focus where there's moisture in your house. Leaky pipes in the basement, or crawl space. Leaky pipes in the bathroom. Leaky pipes in the kitchen, under the sink.
Okay. And one last question. You mentioned vacuum cleaners. I've been really back and forth as to whether to get one and include that.
I think vacuum cleaners are a waste of time. They definitely have to be with the ultra filter, the ultra micron filter, if you have them. But I mean, you're better off with a dusty house with diatomaceous earth than you are cleaning it up. If you want air filtration, can be important because, as Robin mentioned earlier, these things can float in currents of air. They can be kicked up by walking. The filaments coming off the skin, some mites are actually able to fly, and there are 40,000 species of mites. We don't know which ones, but some fly and some don't. So sometimes the airspace needs to be treated, and you might use an inexpensive air filter system. They're about $140 that has micron filters to clean the air. I referenced Facebook before. Somebody writes in and says, I got this thing in my ear, what do I do about it? I mean, gosh, look at what we're talking about. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about Max 1. We're talking about so much. You can't answer a question like that with one sentence. You need a whole book. And the book is free. And the diet is free.
Well, I don't know if that's directed to me. I'm already doing all of that. I'm just trying to find something so that my house doesn't keep getting so wet each day when I'm spraying.
No, it wasn't directed at you.
No, definitely not. Sorry, do not take that personally. It's just my
yeah, I thought that was a 50-50 chance.
It's just my thing with
no,
Facebook.
nothing to do with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard. Could you just mention what that spray is again for the baseboards?
Well, you can spray your baseboard with anything. You could be ammonia, white vinegar. You could dust it with diatomaceous earth. You can spray diatomaceous earth. You can take 4 or 5 tablespoons, use a funnel, put it into a 32-ounce spray bottle, add the water. Don't fill it all the way. You won't be able to shake it up, and you can spray. When it dries, it'll be white. So you don't want to spray until you see it, because when it dries, it'll be coated.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else
you said that's
here
more
ask
for
a question?
I'm sorry, what?
Didn't Richard say that's more for mites? Like, that's not going to fully get us out of cleaning for That's not going to be enough
microbial?
for diatomaceous earth. No, the diatomaceous earth for mites versus columbola.
It's hard hearing you. Is there a question there? We couldn't hear.
Yeah, Richard was saying earlier that diatomaceous earth might not get the springtails all the way since they jump. Unless I misheard him, that's what it sounded like.
Right. They're not just on the floor. That's true.
Okay.
They are often
There's a lot
in
of
plants.
noise on the.
If you have infested soil in your
noise on
plants
the
in your
line.
house, they could be in the plants as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Anyone else like to
There's
share?
a lot of noise on the line. It's here.
What?
There's a lot of noise on the line. It's hard to hear.
Yes, there is. We don't know what it is, though. It sounds like someone's talking in the background on a radio.
Yes. Yes.
Chris, can you identify that? I don't hear it too much, but I do hear a low level. Makes it hard to hear somebody who's asking a question.
I muted. I just unmute people because there's a possibility that they have a question. So
right.
I again muted back to most of the time where their sound is coming from.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share?
I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Jolanta. I'm from Iowa. I want to know about leather furniture. Would that spray help the leather furniture?
Which spray?
The antimicrobial.
Oh, yes. You can spray it on any furniture. Any surface you can spray it on.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Hi, this is Beth.
Yes?
Can you spray the antimicrobial in the electrostatic sprayer?
Yes. And you can mix it with enzymes if you want, or you can mix it with the Benefact disinfectant if you want, or you can spray it by itself.
Okay, thank you.
Now, regarding antimicrobial, it's presently available and ready to use. And the ready to use is about $2.30 an ounce. Hopefully this week we're going to get in concentrate. It'll be in a 2-ounce bottle, a small 2-ounce bottle, and it gets diluted 15 times. So 2 ounces will make 30 ounces, and it comes out to like $1 an ounce. So the concentrate will be a far better economical value and less expensive to ship.
Good. That's great.
Anyone else
I have one more question. Hello. I'm Jolanta again. About laundry, could you put it in your laundry water then to wash? And how much would you put into the water?
Now, we always recommend our laundry soap. Our laundry soap, you see many of the detergents that you buy or soaps that you buy have sodium lauryl sulfate and some other chemicals in them. And these chemicals can themselves cause skin rashes and itching and problems like that.
Oh, but to the inside. Yeah.
So we recommend our laundry soap. So you would take 4 ounces of the ready-to-use antimicrobial, add a capful of our laundry soap to it, put that in the washing machine for 12 pounds of dry laundry. And that laundry is treated for the life of the garment.
Is 12 pounds about one load?
Yes. Yeah, I had a big laundry bag the other day, and I said, "How much is this?" So I I put it on the scale, and it turned out to be 14 pounds. So that's one big load.
Does the temperature matter?
No.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Stickiness on the.
Hello, you have a
Can you hear
question?
me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
My skin is sticky all the time. What is that?
Biofilm, most likely. Are you on the diet?
Yes, I can't get rid of it. Even when I wash, it doesn't. It's just everywhere.
Okay, so are you strict with the diet? Has the diet kicked in? Are you free of the itching and the biting?
Yes.
Okay. Are you effectively handling the environment, the furniture, and everything else?
Doing everything I can. I can't get rid of the stickiness.
Are you
my eyes, my nose.
Are you taking 3 baths a day?
Everywhere.
Are you taking 3 baths a day?
Not all the time, no.
Okay.
I just want to know what is.
Well, I'll get to that. See, it's a lot more than just your question. There's a lot of background that we need to make sure. So the diet is important, disinfecting your environment, taking hopefully 3 baths a day with the Nature's Gift and a disinfectant. Could be apple cider vinegar. The next thing you'd want to do is you want to look into the kinase enzymes. The kinase enzymes are targeted for biofilm.
So not every enzyme cleaner is the same?
The kinase enzymes are taken internally.
Vitamin.
You could use the enzymes, our clean them up enzymes. You could use them in your bath water instead of Nature's Gift and see how that works.
Well, what is it that's on my skin? Is it
biofilm, most likely?
The parasites create biofilm. It helps them create a hospitable environment for themselves.
It's a
After
shield.
you take a bath with all of the stuff Richard mentioned earlier, you take a shower to shower off, and then you can use, like the enzyme cleaner that Richard has in his store, make a spray bottle, or Nature's Gift debriding soap and make a spray, and spray your whole body with it, or use the Nature's Gift mouthwash / body wipe down your body with it. It will take the biofilm off, and then, just like he was talking about the treatment for your scalp, you do a whole body treatment with essential oils, Claudia's Dream Cream, Msm Gel, and you rub that in, and it will, it won't take that long. It will take days maybe to get rid of the biofilm. At least that's been my experience.
I can get rid of it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of the healing process, is getting rid of it.
Cleaning it away.
Right.
So you want to be very aggressive with this. You don't want to just think that you can apply something once to your skin and it's going to get rid of it. So you need to do it throughout the day. And because you can't wrap your body like you can put a bathing cap on your head, that means the frequency is going to be important. And keep your skin with a lot of these oils, the Msm Gel,
the sprays,
and
you
the
can have a little
enzymes.
spray pen of the NG with water, or the
you're in a war.
mouthwash.
It's going to be a lot of work. And then internally, you want to look at the kinase enzymes that we have in the store.
It's a vitamin enzyme. You take it 3 times a day without
They're
food.
awesome.
Chiatonaze, Tonaze maybe. Chitonaze is how you spell it. I'm pretty sure. But if you it'll show up. Chitonosaze, I think. It's going to be close.
You have to go to the store. It's parasitestore.com. The easy way, parasitestore.com. Look up supplements, and it will be either the
Chito.
second or
Chito
third
is the
one.
first. Chito are the first letters, so it should come up if you do a search for that. But I'm pretty sure it's Chitosanase is how you spell it.
Richard,
So
could I
it's
ask a quick?
Yes?
So it's coming from inside me. It's coming from inside me.
Right.
Inside, outside, everywhere.
Could I ask a quick
God.
question, Richard, about the biofilm?
What is that?
Quick question about the biofilm.
Yes.
So I just ordered a lot of the products, the enzyme that we just spoke of, and the Claudia's cream, and the the gel, and the oil. So my problem is mainly really thick biofilm on my scalp, and it itches and it burns. So are you saying not just to leave it on overnight, you put it on 3 times a day, but then do you exfoliate as well the scalp with it?
Massage it in. Massage it in, and, you know, after a few hours, wash it out, and then apply it again. If there is a blog post that our other coach helped us with, Sandra, about maybe 2 years ago. She did this 5 times a day, and she took photographs of her scalp, of what she brushed out of her scalp. And so you can see the first photograph, a whole bunch of stuff. After the last treatment, very little stuff came out. But you do it up, she did it up to 5 times a day, but she wasn't using a skull cap. So the skull cap or the bathing cap will keep it moist longer and more effective.
The more aggressive you are, the faster you get better.
Okay, thank you. Do you recommend a certain kind of exfoliation brush so that it doesn't get doesn't get infected? Something that's easy and that you can use over and over again?
Robin, you have any suggestions there? I don't necessarily.
No, I stopped using brushes. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I use combs on my hair, or I just rub my hair really hard with the stuff I'm putting in it, and that has worked really well for me.
I'd say trim your fingernails and go to it.
Yeah.
Don't don't tear up your skin with your finger.
Yeah, right. Well, you have to have short nails to play guitar, so I'm good in that area.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
This
a YouTube channel?
You'll get the link. I guess we have a YouTube channel. I don't know.
If we're putting them up, we must. I
Chris,
don't know what it is.
you know if we have a YouTube channel? What our channel is?
We are in the process of creating a channel.
Okay.
It's
and
not
once that is
official yet.
created, once that is created, maybe we can live stream the whole thing into YouTube.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Don't have one right now.
Not yet.
Yeah, guess not. But the videos, these are posted. You can see Robin and me, but the callers are not visible.
Protecting anonymity.
And
where do I find the YouTube channels? Where do I get the
click
YouTube
the link
channels?
in the email that you will get. Are you on the email list?
No, I'm not.
okay, send me an email, KNIC that can cat, the number 2 at Verizon.net. I'll add you to the email list.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Yes, Richard. Me,
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. I have a reaction, allergy. I experience again clothes mite. Yeah.
Clothes mites?
Clothes mite, yes. That's again. I got reinfected again, and I was washing continuously, but I don't know. It's coming up again, and I experience like an allergy when I get the bite for them. It's kind of very, very seriously.
Now, when you say clothes mites, are they eating holes in your clothes? Are they in your closet eating holes in your clothing?
That's why I haven't used the Ziploc. Only I fold in and I put it to my closet.
But
maybe
are they eating holes? Are they eating your clothing?
Yes.
So you see holes in your clothing?
Yes.
Okay, we had an update some time ago about it. I don't remember all the details, but you're fortunate because Robin has had experience with it, and she can share it with you her experience in dealing with clothes mites.
Did you want me to do that now?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, I didn't realize what they were, but all of my favorite clothes that I wore a lot were covered with like hundreds of little round holes everywhere, and I finally caught on. So the first thing I did was I got Ziploc bags for the clothes in my drawers. I got big zippered hanging things for the clothes in my closet. I got Nuvon strips, which are a pesticide that you can hang for the hanging clothes and the things I couldn't wash. And I made sure that that was airtight and sealed. And then I washed everything I owned with the enzyme. Richard hadn't had the laundry soap he has, but it's a wonderful enzyme laundry soap. And it's very similar to what I used, which was just an enzyme cleaner. And I did a pre-soak in a big plastic tub that had a cover with 2 inches of ammonia. I let things soak overnight, and then I washed everything in the washer on the hottest setting with a cup of borax in with the clothes and enzyme cleaner mixed with a teaspoon of Clorox Blue Pool Shock. And you have to mix them together or they'll ruin all your clothes with spots. I discovered that the hard way. And after it was washed, I would put them in the dryer for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I would use 2 dryer sheets, and I'd soak 1 in ammonia and 1 in peppermint oil and put them in the dryer with the clothes, and then I would instantly put them in Ziploc bags. And I stopped having cloth mites. I also continued to spray my closet, but every piece of clothing I owned was encased, sealed in airtight plastic, and was either washed in the manner I just described or sealed with a Nuvon strip that hung with the clothes that is a parasitic. It's used to kill mites. I mean, I learned about it from an exterminator. You could probably use, what is it called, menthol crystals. I don't know. I've used menthol crystals in my shoes, and it was very effective, and they are in Richard's store. But for the thick, heavy clothes, I love the Nuvon strips. They're not cheap. They last about 4 months, and that's what I did.
Thank you, Robin.
And then I continued disinfecting the house like you do with everything else.
Thank you, Robin. Now, that's a lot of work. And if you cross your fingers, our antimicrobial might get rid of all that work. And
well, you'd still have to wash your clothes once and use the antimicrobial.
Right. So it might cut all that work out. We don't know for sure, but we're crossing our fingers. But it is a lot of work to get rid of cloth mites.
It is. It's
a lot of work. You don't do it overnight.
I wanted to invest in Ziploc bags because I bought so many of them.
Well, what is the menthol that you use? Menthol what?
Crystals. Menthol crystals.
Crystals. Okay.
Yes.
So you can use them 2 ways.
They are also in our online store.
Right, and you can put them in a bag that you seal, and it will build up fumes in the bag that will kill things. And if you're not going to be in a room or not home, you can put them, you know, it's like a little burner. It has a candle on the bottom that heats something on the top. And you can melt the crystals, and they will put off fumes in a room, but you do not want to be in a room that you're fumigating with menthol crystals that way because it's poison. So,
oh my goodness.
So if you're going to use them that way, It has to be a room that you're not going to be in.
And you can
All
also
right.
you can take your shoes, you can take your wallet, your purse, and everything, and put them in a bag and put the crystals in with them too, and let them sit for a day or two.
Yes. Well, with the Nuvant strips, it takes more like a week or two. So it depends on how infested things are.
Thank you for the question. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yes, I need to know if you can temporarily use a shower in lieu of a bathtub. As you know, my house burned down, and I'm looking for a new house, with a bathtub. So I'm using a shower about 4 or 5 times a day. It's probably not as effective as a bathtub, but can I get by for now?
I always said it wouldn't work, but I've been proven wrong. People have written me and emailed me that it works fine. So they take the shower, they lather up with the soap, the bar soap. They shut off the shower for 3 minutes as instructed on the bar soap, and then they wash off. And then after they get out, I mean, depends on where you are. Some people use paper towels to dry off and throw them away. If our antimicrobial is powerful, as we hope it is, you can use towels treated with that, and they won't get necessarily reinfected. That's a new area that we're going into, but they swear that it works that way in a shower. So 3 baths a day, maybe 5 showers a day. I don't know.
They also have portable bathtubs that you can buy.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah, but you have to scrub them out too, and that takes a long time.
Well,
and you have to get one small enough to fit into your shower.
I would think you wouldn't have to scrub it. You spray it with ammonia, let it sit, and then you wipe it off with a paper towel.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, ammonia evaporates after about 20 minutes.
Right, and then you just wipe it. You shouldn't have to scrub.
Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Well, maybe it's time to get into our...
I would like to mention the magnetic cloth that you can buy in the auto parts section of your store. So they'll pull off, they magnetize and pull stuff off the surface, and they're washable, you know. You just can't wash them in bleach, but you wash them maybe with your borax, powder, and instead of paper towels, you're using those. You can wipe through them and put them in a bag and wash them.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question before we go into our stress management portion?
Yeah, Richard, if you have horses, how do you control the pests on your horses?
Horses?
Yes.
Wow.
There's stuff you can get for horses similar to the program for cats. There's I forget what it's called. It's for sweet itch, and they can take it internally, or you can wash them with it. And cleaning the barns would be a challenge, though.
That's where you'd want to use the electrostatic sprayer, and hopefully the antimicrobial will work out for us.
Benzol benzoate is what the sweet itch stuff is that's used for horses. Before I found Richard and his program, I bought some of that for my skin, and it was actually very helpful, so I think it would help with horses.
What is it called? Benzol?
Benzoate?
Yeah.
Benzoate.
And it's designed for sweet itch, and you'd give it to them daily. The instructions, I mean, if you do a search, you can research it, you'll find out about it.
All right.
And when you get the answer and figure it all out, please email me what you did so we can share it and other people can learn.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Years ago, when somebody told me they had a kennel with dogs, and my first thought was, forget it, you're doomed. You got to get rid of all the dogs. but I was wrong. I'm glad to be wrong so often.
Okay. I would like to ask a question. I didn't know that I was on mute. So this is my third try. There's a statement in one of the emails this week. It came out at 8:02 a.m. today that the King diet was, this is in red print, it's been declared by some to be the cure for Morgellons. But it says, we all know there is no cure for Morgellons. Yet without the King diet, I would not have a program, much less my life back. It's the basis of my book, How to Get Your Life Back. But Richard, could you explain that statement about there is no cure for Morgellons? What's happening as we are handling it the way we are?
There is no known cure, no recognized cure. Boron has been recognized as an antidote, but you can, even after you get your life back from either Morgellons or Columella, you can be reinfected. I mean, just go through this. You have an attic. You put stuff away 2 years ago when these things first started bothering you. You didn't know what you had. You didn't know what you were dealing with. So you get your life back, and you get you want to go up in the attic and look for something. You open up this box, and bang, all hell breaks loose. You're back in where you were to begin with. There's no cure. You can be reinfected over and over. But the difference is you now know what you need to do. You know what the diet works. You know about disinfecting. You know you're not going to be in the dark ages for 2 years going to doctor and being told you're delusional. You have a reference book. You got instructions. You know what to do.
It's just like there's no cure for the common cold. You can get a common cold over and over again.
Right.
But you know how to treat it.
It's going to be around 100 years, like maybe this pandemic, but I wondered if it meant that it was lurking quietly inside of us, just taking a break, and would come back active later.
No, only if you go off the diet dramatically, and you know, like a couple of years ago, I was kind of stupid. I ate watermelon. Watermelon is not on the diet. Don't eat watermelon. And I had no reaction to watermelon. And I said, oh, that's great. So I knew I could get away with watermelon once or twice. So I ate it the second day, no problem. And I thought, well, maybe I'm cured. So I ate it the third day, the fourth day, and around the fifth or sixth day, all hell broke loose. So you can basically have your life back, but you don't want to eat things like peanut butter or watermelon or consume olive oil. There are some things that are more probable to be an issue than others. Now, in other words, I can eat wheat bread every day and there's no problem. Day in and day out, 30 days, 360 days a year. But if I have peanut butter for more than a few days, I've got a problem.
And then I wondered if these parasites can, quote, train the body to react certain ways. And even if they're totally exterminated, the body has a memory and reacts in the old way when the parasites were present.
Well, every cell in your body does have a memory, and there's a whole field of healing that deals with that, and more with the emotional release, because the cells in your body have a memory of emotional traumas that are stored, and that's more of a psychological field than it is a physical field. But no, it's either if you abuse the diet and think you're getting away with it for an extended period of time, or if you're exposed to the organisms again, physically.
Okay. I think I get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does this mean you can't have peanut butter?
What?
Does this mean you cannot eat peanut butter?
Well, I can eat peanut butter, but I wouldn't eat it 2 or 3 days in a row.
What about coconut oil?
What?
What about coconut oil?
Well, coconut oil is an interesting one. If you only have Morgellons and are not dealing with Columbella, and from what I see from the questionnaires I get, 80% of us have both Columbella and Morgellons, but the 20% who do not deal with Columbella, you can have coconut oil. You can have guacamole. You can have, what else? Maybe asparagus, I'm not sure. But if you are dealing with Columbella, then coconut oil is something that you can't have until you're stage 3. And again, I could probably have it for 3 or 4 days, and the 4th or 5th day I might have a problem. So I wouldn't want to consume it every day once I'm well into stage 3, ever. That's because I have also dealt with Columbella. But like I say, if you only are dealing with Morgellons, you can have it every day. Anyone else have a question or like to ask or share?
Go ahead.
There's a TikTok going on there. We got some
that somebody's infected without them even knowing?
Okay. Does someone have a question?
We couldn't hear that.
Is it possible that somebody is infected without them knowing?
Oh, yes. There are many people that are infected. They are what we call carriers. And we find it oftentimes in families where, say, I don't know why it's this way, but it's usually the wife is dramatically infected, and the husband, well, he might have a couple of sores, he might do a little bit itching, but she's nuts, she's crazy, there's nothing wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And it shows up all the time. It's sad because it's a tremendous amount of stress to get your life back when you're living with somebody who's infected. If they're willing to participate, now this happens to be my story as well. I'm the infected one, and my wife can be a carrier. And she was willing to take the bath with a nature's gift, have all of her clothing disinfected, and fine. That was the end of it. She's no longer a carrier.
Okay.
But
how can you be sure that you have Columbella? What is the definitive symptom?
Well,
what do they look like?
Okay, first of all, there's no lab test that can say that you do it, but from basically my experience for myself and working with thousands of people, the first and foremost sign is if you ever had an infestation of fleas. They jump up on your ankles, on your lower legs, they itch like hell, but you can see them. They're little black things. Columbella behaves very much the same, but you can't see them. So they're going to itch and they're going to bite on the lower ankles. The next thing is that for some reason, they love the eyes. Crusty feeling of your eyelids and eyelashes. They love that. Third thing is they love the back of your scalp and your shoulder blades. Lesions there. So those 3 things are generally what tell me that somebody's most likely dealing with Columbella.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Well, we talked about stress, and it's normal that when we're dealing with these organisms, particularly in the beginning when we're at total wit's end and it's like we're we're in a room being batted wall after, jumping up against one wall and being back and forth. You get angry, you get frustrated, you get depressed, and all these emotions actually end up triggering what's called the fight or flight response. The fight or flight response is the sympathetic nervous system, and through the brain interpreting these emotions as a threat being there is preparing you to fight or run, and it does so by releasing adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine, and cortisol to varying degrees. In the extreme of the fight or flight, where I saw this video the other day, this guy walking around, and this cougar, he happened upon a cougar with its child, or the baby cougar, and the cougar was stalking him. I mean, his heart was jumping out of his body. His blood pressure was all the way up. His IQ was down. His sweat gland activity was at its peak. His vascular system had shut down circulation to his fingers and toes and directed it all to his organs. He was ready to fight or run. Fortunately, he just simply figured out what to do, just guessed at it, and making loud noises and walking away and not being, and the cougar eventually left. Well, that is the fight or flight in full force. His cortisol levels were high and had created a lot of blood sugar that he would need to escape or to fight that cougar. Well, in everyday situations, we don't have that extreme. We have a low level, but nevertheless, the cortisol is there on a low level, creating blood sugar, and we talked about the diet, and on the diet is not sugar. No sugar is on the diet. So when you are stressed, it comes to reason, and it is a reality that the symptoms are magnified or exacerbated. You're going to be more itchy. You're going to feel more biting sensations. The organisms are going to be more active because you're feeding them indirectly, internally, with a blood sugar that the cortisol has released. Now, for many other reasons, it's beneficial to manage stress, because if you look at the family practice notebook in every physician's office, it states that 80% of the people who come through the doorway to the doctor's office are dealing with stress-related issues. Stress exacerbates blood pressure, heart conditions, diabetes, anything to do with inflammation, which is all disease. So it's important for us to get a handle on stress. And the basic fundamental stress management technique that we use and that you'll learn in any program that you probably take will be how to do deep breathing. It only takes a few moments. There's a PDF I sent, or JPEG, that you can download and put on your phone as a wallpaper, so that every time you look at your cell phone, it reminds you to take your deep breathing. Every time you come to a stop sign while you're driving or a red light, make it a reminder to do your deep breathing. And it helps dissolve stress. It induces the parasympathetic nervous system, which releases catecholamines to cancel out the cortisol and all that stuff that's going on, and it allows your body to regenerate rather than to be used up. So Robin is going to take us through a deep breathing exercise. She's going to, many of you have been on the call before. You already know how to do it. Those of you who are new, pay attention to how you're supposed to breathe. The idea is that when you are breathing in, you breathe in hope, creativity, because as I said, when the fight or flight is activated, your intelligence drops, your IQ drops. That means you're less creative. And one of the things you want in getting your life back is to be creative and figuring out that the darn things are hiding in the tuft of the footrest, for instance, whatever. So be creative. And so, Robin, take us through the deep breathing, please.
Okay. I wanted to tell you, this is my birthday month, And I got this necklace. You guys can't see it very well. And it says, fearless. And every time I get anxious or worried or discouraged, I touch the necklace and do deep breathing. And it's been really
there is something that you're doing that's creating feedback. When you were touching that necklace, there was a lot of clicking.
Oh, it might have, because I have headphones on, so it might have touched the headphones. I'm sorry about that. All right, so we're going to put our feet flat on the floor if we're sitting down. Our shoulders are down, our chin is up, and we're going to breathe from our diaphragm, which is in our right in the stomach area. When we breathe, our diaphragm goes out, our shoulders stay down, and when we exhale, we use our stomach muscles to push the air out in a controlled exhale. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth. We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 10. And if you can't hold or exhale for that long, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. And release a cleansing breath. And here we go. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out and release anxiety. Release stress. Release fear. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And breathe in hope. 2, 3, 4, 5. And encouragement. 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And breathe in the possibility of health and healing and good things. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And release the stress. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the pain. 8, 9, 10. Breathe in joy and smile while you're breathing in. 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale and let it all go. Let it go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe in faith. Faith that you believe that you're going to get well. And hold. 2, 3. Hold that thought. And slowly exhale. Release the stress. Release the fear. Release the discouragement. Say, I'm done with despair. And breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 2, 3. You are not alone. 4, 5. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one more. Breathe in. Happiness. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly breathe out. Peace. Relaxation. 7, 8, 9, 10. Ha.
Thank you, Robin. I don't know. Somehow we have to figure out what's happening with your system there, but you were there was a lot of clicking going on throughout most of that exercise. For which,
wow.
We apologize. We don't know. We'll have to.
I'm so sorry. I changed microphones because I think my other microphone was giving tons of feedback. Maybe it's these headphones that I have
Maybe.
on.
It's not now.
I'll try different. It's not now?
No, don't hear any. No problem right now. So
maybe I was tapping my foot. I tend to tap my foot when I breathe, and this microphone picks up everything. So I apologize. I'll try to be still next time.
Okay, I don't know. When you listen to it or watch it, you can figure out what was happening. Thank you. But how about some feedback? How you feel? If you were tense before, did you let go of some of it? Were you able to let go? Anybody like to share?
Is anybody on? Can
you are.
hear?
Yeah, there are still people here.
Well, I liked the feeling of doing it together, and I got results of peacefulness. I really felt comfortable during this exercise, more so than usual.
Oh, that's great to hear. I'm so glad.
Thanks for doing it.
The interesting was the feedback was kind of like a cadence.
It must have been my foot tapping on the floor.
Okay. Anyone else like to share? Anyone else like to share?
You just got right? Yeah. What did you got?
BMW, the white BMW.
Hello? Hello? We're paying $50 a minute for this call. Please, please share. Silence is costing us a lot of money, and a lot of listeners are cutting off.
No, I think Liz was talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. Now I hear a horse galloping in the background.
Anyone else like to share? Well, I guess we'll move on to our winner and wrap up the program, and then we'll do the who's our winner?
7352.
If the last four digits are 7352, you're the winner this week of either the signed copy of the 10th release of the book or $20 credit in the store. 7352. Are you still on? Are they still on the call?
I think she logged off.
Okay, you have her number. You can give her a call.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. All right. If you like a buddy, and it's a good idea to get a buddy, you can email our buddy coach. Her name is Barbara. She's an herbalist. She's working on the formulation that we can reduce dopamine uptake naturally rather than through the use of medication, but through the use of herbs and ingredients that reduce the dopamine uptake. So her email is Daisy, like the lady, Daisy, Jane, the flower Daisy, Jane, the lady, 28 at gmail.com. I think my brain got ahead of me there, Daisy. Daisy the flower, Jane the lady, 28 at gmail.com. And only list your first name, not your last name, first name only, your phone number, region of the country. That clicking is happening right now, Robin. The clicking is happening right now.
I'm not moving.
Now stop.
That's part of Robin's rhythm of life.
Yeah. There we go. The motto for this week is keep laughing.
She's coming on strong.
Okay. So Daisy Jane 28 at gmail.com. Your first name, your email she'll have your email address, and your phone number, region of the country, and she will give you a list of people that are also looking for buddies, and you can look for someone in your area or wherever and form a relationship. So I want to thank Robin for participating as my co-host. I want to thank Chris for handling the technical aspects. Hopefully one day we'll figure out how to get rid of the feedback and make it easier to hear people when they call in, or some means of communicating. I want to thank Barbara for being my buddy coach, Ethel for being our greeting coach, Sandra, who is also another coach from the Pittsburgh area. I want to thank her, but she's not here with us either today. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Keep coming back. I hope we've created the inspiration that we were looking for. And Robin used this program consistently for about a year, and she got her life back. It works. It works. So thank you. Love you all. Keep coming back.